And we'll start another video.
Get ready for next week.
Yep.
Scott shows up anyway.
Well, next week's another living, not the Walking Dead, not Living Dead, Walking Dead.
I'm tired. You can go home. Huh?
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Hey.
I went up since 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. I had to get up and go down and take care of the eBay shit before we left. And I didn't get to bed till like 11:30 last night because I was trying to charge up all the video cameras and shit before I went to bed. Oh, Mikey! The fucking stairs! Damn, that was close. What'd you do, break something? Oh, that's your light. I thought it was a broken drill. All right, Mike, I'll see you in the morning. I'll not see you in the morning, no. I'll see you next weekend.
Rain.
Yeah, it rained.
Yeah, you were asleep when we were talking about
It was pouring one before.
Really?
Yeah. I can't find half the shit in here, so we get back to the yard. I gotta hunt it down. And don't let me forget the stuff from yesterday that I forgot. Oh boy. At least I got tomorrow to recover. And Monday back to doing what I usually do. For another year. Oh boy. What? Oh, we're early today. It's only 12:50.
Yeah, Mike was falling asleep.
Yeah, well, so am I. I just wanted to get all those videos uploaded. It's easy to do it there. His internet is quicker than mine, even though we both have high speed. It looks like most of the shit from the museum looks like it came out okay. Some of it's a little jiggly because it was kind of dark in there. When I was using this camera, it was all right because this camera pulls in more light. The Bloggie has a smaller lens and it doesn't usually handle very low light too well. It'll do it, but it's not its favorite. You know. But you can still see most of the shit. For a quick hit and run we did, it wasn't that bad.
Had the woolly mammoth come out.
That seems to be all right. You know, to get really good videos in a place like that, you really got to spend like 3 hours in there, you know, which neither one of us was prepared to do at that time of day. So
I just figured it was a quick walk.
yeah, a quick walk through is good enough.
It was around the corner. I'd never been there. I didn't know it was in there.
New York State History Museum. Or the New York State Museum is what it is.
When did it rain?
Started about 2 hours ago. Damn, some wicked fog.
Yeah.
But you know why? It's getting colder. Cold front moving in. Now that my vacation's over, it's instant winter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we'll see cops hiding tonight, at least one or two.
Probably. Somebody watched one of the museum videos already and sent me a message. They wanted to know if there was a display on the NRA up there. I said, I did not. I saw guns. I didn't see anything on the NRA.
No.
I did see the KKK,
Oh, yeah.
but not the NRA. And then the NRA isn't.
That was an
it's
original
a part of New York history
outfit, too, wasn't it?
The NRA, yeah.
No, the KK outfit.
Very likely. Yeah, in the 20s, the KKK had a huge resurgence, and they were active here, more so in the north even than the south.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole documentary on that on fucking cable somewhere. I saw. You know, the movie A Birth of a Nation and all of that shit. It petered out somewhat later on and just became the lunatic fringe, but you know, at one time, high-ranking politicians, you know, very high-ranking politicians were members and all of that. In fact, they joined specifically because, you know, their constituency was, you know, heavily into it. All the marches, thousands and thousands of people marching down city streets, everything.
Are they associated with the Nazi Party?
No. Different type of hate group altogether.
Who hates them more?
It's who more? I mean, each had its own groups it didn't like. Some overlapping, of course, some not. The KKK was not particularly socialist. Well, the Nazis were. National Socialism, German Workers' Party. You know. The KKK basically just hates everybody. And it's really, I don't know who they actually like, to tell you the truth. I don't. And now they are back to being what they were after the Civil War, which was some diehard Southern types who, you know, basically can't get along with anybody anywhere. And they form their own little group. And because they can't keep their big mouths shut, they get sued constantly. Not only can't they keep their mouths shut, but they're stupid about the things they do. And they get successfully sued in court. In some cases, they've lost their little clubhouses and all kinds of shit because of things they've done and gotten caught. The Germans were much more diabolical, the Nazis, about how they went about infiltrating countries with the NSDAP, Austria to start with. Basically, every country the Germans took over in World War II, conquered, already had a Nazi party, fledgling offshoot Nazi party type organization on the ground and running. Denmark, Norway, they all had, you know, like, you know, Quisling and all that shit. They already had the bones there to form a government favorable to the Nazis. They already had, you know, all that shit going. They had the German-American Bund right here in this country. That was partially funded by Germany. You know, they had agents in this country that were pushing it and guiding it. That shit ended immediately when Hitler declared war on the United States. So all of a sudden, you know, it became very unpopular. I love the story about how during the war, Meyer Lansky and other mobsters, not just Jewish mobsters, but Italian ones too, would infiltrate the Bund meetings before the war. It was actually before the war, and just bust heads, and kick ass. You know, these guys were serious, diehard mobsters, and gangsters, and they just beat the living shit out of whoever they grabbed a hold of. You don't like Jews? Okay, fine. We don't like you. Boom, bang, pow. But after 1941, it became official policy in the United States. You know, then you had the FBI and all of that getting involved in hunting these people down and locking them up as enemy aliens or, you know, treasonous possible parties, that kind of thing. But they had huge rallies right in Madison Square Garden. Pictures of Hitler, swastikas, every fucking thing. As the KKK had similar rallies elsewhere in the teens and 20s. It petered out after the 1920s because they started getting too violent, and that turned off, for one thing, all the big-time politicians couldn't be involved in that. Not outright violence that looked really bad in the paper, but the average citizen, too, didn't really like that. It's one thing, white pride, all the other stuff. You start just indiscriminately killing people and everything else, they don't want to be involved with that shit. And worse, what really killed the KKK in America was they came out in support of prohibition. The KKK pushed heavily for prohibition because they viewed the consumption of alcohol, particularly wine and beer, as foreign. Beer was German, wine was Italian, or associated with the Catholics, and they were against all of that. So they heavily lobbied in favor of prohibition, and probably without their support, prohibition probably would not have passed and become law. But they had so much sway at the time that they were able to help carry it. And people remembered that. And during Prohibition, they actively assisted the Treasury Department, even going so far as to conduct their own liquor raids and all that kind of shit. And that quickly made them very unpopular, because they just did not understand that the consumption of alcohol was not a foreign thing. It's an American thing. People have been drinking in this country since the very first Englishmen stepped foot on the beach, you know. Just about the first thing they did after putting up a little house was build a still, you know, or something, and start fermenting alcohol somehow, or making beer. So that cost them a lot in terms of popularity. I managed to get all my little projects accomplished.
Boxing up eBay stuff?
Not that. That's just normal crap. I mean, I had a few little things I wanted to get done, and I got most of it done. I had shit on the car I wanted to do. I wanted to fix the radius ball cap. The two studs for it on the Model A were stripped out. That's kind of dangerous, actually, because it makes the front end loose. And I thought it was going to be I thought I was going to have to pull the transmission. And to pull the transmission, you got to first pull the rear, because it's a torque tube drive. You know, unship the rear and pull it back. And I thought it was going to be like 2 days, easy. It took me 20 minutes. What the instructions and the manuals never made clear was, when you drop the radius ball, there's an upper and a lower cap. And on top of the upper cap, there's a hole in the bell housing that you can easily get your fingers in and just take the stud right out of. I would have done it a year ago if it was that easy. I was deliberately saving that project until I had time to devote to it, you know, and it turned out I didn't need to worry about it. So now at least the steering is safe on it. I got the Model T running, cleaned up, that's all set for the winter now. Put the new mirror on it, or the old mirror, I should say. Model T.
Production or original?
No, an original. I found a Kisco, an original mirror. You know, the silvering is flaking off it on the inside of the mirror, but still, it's good enough, and it looks correct. It looks right that way. Fits right in. It looks like its age is correct. And it's still usable. You can still see plenty when you look at it, so. because the reproduction mirror I had on there just looked like shit. It didn't look right at all. And when you compare it to the original, you can see immediately the difference. One is a tin piece of crap, and the other one is a pretty hefty piece of steel with a thick piece of glass in it, you know? Catching reds. So I guess this season's Walking Dead is going to address what I mentioned last year about what happens if someone, like when Herschel got bit and they chopped off his leg, or what happened if he died in his sleep or some shit like that. Well, let's face it, people do die in their sleep. They get sick and they die. They pass away when no one's looking. They fall down and break their neck in the bathtub or whatever. What happens if that happens when no one's looking and they come back and now they're amongst you? You know, unaware. You're all unawares. You're peacefully sleeping and here comes the Walking Dead. You know, 5 minutes before was somebody you knew. Now I said, everybody should be locked in the cells at night. You know, give them the key, of course, so they can let themselves in and out, but doors closed and locked so that the zombie can't get out. If it comes to that. That won't help married couples who are sharing a cell or something like that, but at least single individuals would be safe. And now, of course, it's happened, you know? They have a zombie walking around. Very first episode, they've already lost 2 people.
Yeah. But
it seems they have a lot more now. Not just people from the town they brought in, but other people too. 3 questions. How many zombies have you killed?
Yeah.
How many people have you killed?
Yeah.
And why? Why did you kill them?
You knew she wasn't right the minute.
Oh, there was definitely something squirrely going on there. I could see that right away.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
They didn't even show the husband or boyfriend, whatever.
Yeah, just something wiggling in a bag. What you knew it was that? Another head in a bag. He didn't even bother to put her down either. Something may come back to bite him on the ass later. But I guess one more zombie, more or less, don't make much of a difference when there's millions of them shambling around. That bit they're doing by the fence, that's dangerous. Because if they get too many bodies against that fence,
rotting corpse.
Not just that, that's bad enough. They're probably used to that smell, but if they get a big enough pile, sooner or later they're going to be able to climb over it, or the weight will collapse the fence. And they keep piling zombies against it. They should be shooting them with a 22, before they get that close. If they're still going around with, ammunition is in short supply bullshit, that's crap. They're obviously ranging pretty far. They have lots of stores to pick and choose from. There's ammo around, every house in rural Georgia, I'm sure, has at least one 22 rifle and 1,000 rounds of ammunition for it, The most common caliber there is. Current shortages aside, that's all shortages caused by people hoarding it, which means there's even more out there. Search enough houses, you'll find ammo. Or you find arrows and just keep shooting with that. And Ninja Lady is still going out there looking for the governor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's
going to hunt his ass forever. I'm sure he's going to prop up again somewhere.
He's like the Swede. He'll come back.
Yeah.
Waiting to see how that pans out with the... I'll find you. I always do.
Yeah. Except I think this time the kid's going to find him.
That's why I say I think the kid's gonna rat him out.
Yeah.
And then the asshole father that placed the blame on his teenage kid. I like the look on Bohannon's face when he's like, "It's right, I didn't tell the whole truth. He got my daughter pregnant." You see the look on his
Yeah.
What? Kind of like that shotgun wedding Zach was going to go to up there at the Zitco station.
Oh, boy.
Boom. Flew right over that thing. Way over the speed limit.
Oh, yeah.
Shithead took over the railroad again.
Yep. He's going to end up having to work with Bohannon anyway. Because while he's exactly the kind of guy you need in that position, who can move with ease amongst the movers and shakers of politics in Washington and industry, you know, he's not the kind of guy that can get things done on labor front with the wild Indians and with all of that shit going on and the deadly winters. You know, he's not the kind of guy for that.
And then there's Elam. What do you think happened to him?
Oh, he lives.
Oh, yeah?
I think he does, yeah. My guess is the Indians find him. And they probably take him in. Especially if they find him like that. What the hell?
They didn't have a problem with black people, did they?
Not a racial one, no, but black people were interlopers like the white people were, you know, they didn't belong there. So if they caught them like any other tribe who didn't belong there, they would have scalped them too. But in this case, when they find him, to kill a bear with your bare hands, that is big-time medicine with the Indians. You know, that's like the ultimate tribal ritual for a warrior to do that. With nothing but a knife, you know.
He looked like about 800 pound. So bear.
Well, it wasn't a grizzly. I don't think so, anyway. It looked like it's just a brown bear, but...
Big brown bear, yeah.
Yeah, but still big, and it's still a bear.
Yeah, they didn't officially show him dead. They just showed the scene.
Yeah. They showed him mauled up, lying on the ground, obviously injured, passed out, and a dead bear there. But it didn't say he was dead. His common-law wife there was going around saying he was dead only because he hadn't come back. But...
No, she said, I felt his spirit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I felt the spirit, which means jack shit, you know.
When's that come back out?
Next year.
God.
Next August sometime, I guess it starts. I don't know.
August. Yo.
Well, yeah, the season's over.
What about Copper?
Same time, I guess.
Crap.
A little before that, probably. That's Walking Dead to start with.
Well, that's enough.
Actually, the original season of Hell on Wheels was running at the same time Walking Dead did. So I'm kind of surprised they sort of split it up a little now. Because I remember we'd go to Mike's house, we'd watch an episode of Walking Dead and an episode of Hell on Wheels. It was like right after it. The initial season, maybe in the first 2 seasons.
Breaking Bad's all done.
Yeah.
That had a good ending, right?
Excellent ending. That is how they should end a series. Every loose end tied up. No question, this is what happened, you know. Not like that bullshit with Sopranos.
Yeah.
Which now they can never ever put right because James Gandolfini is dead.
Captain Cook got away at the end.
Yeah. But everybody was kind of pulling for him anyway. You know? And it was Walter's fault that he was involved in that shit in the first place. Because he was nothing but just some dumb kid smoking a little meth on the side of that kind of... Just a meth head. Regular stoner. It was Walter that made him, you know...
Yeah.
The cooker that he was. And I guess in the end he became as skilled as Walter at cooking it. Knew exactly how to do it.
Right, he calls up that girl with the tea. Might be feeling a little sick right about now.
Yeah. Well, she called the Opie's phone there. And she just picked it up. Hello, Angela.
Yeah.
Yes, everything's done. Got the sniffles, do you? Feel a little feverish?
Had it hiding behind the switch plate there.
Yeah. The rice.
It looked like a glass fuse in a car.
Yeah. It was a vial. It was a glass vial.
How much of that would you use to make the stuff?
I guess it doesn't take that much. I really don't know.
You put the whole thing in there.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be a dose to kill the chicken man. So I guess it would kill the chicken man. It would kill the woman too. So it's a single dose to however they plan to deliver it.
How'd Tuco die?
Tuco was shot. And he got his ass blown away, if I remember correctly. They all got theirs in the end, but then again, that's what happens in the drug trade. Sooner or later, they get it. Like any criminal enterprise. You're dealing primarily with criminals and a lot of very violent people. Sooner or later, one of them's going to decide, you know, you're inconvenient.
Well, the first couple episodes, look what happened to the one of the lungs that look like Swiss cheese there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the only way these people can advance is by getting rid of the competition. And in corporate America, that's money that does that, you know, leverage takeovers and stuff like that. But in the drug world, it's murder that does that. Meth is the drug of this era. It's extremely easy to manufacture. Assholes are doing it in kitchens and little sheds and even in automobiles. It doesn't have to be imported from outside of the country and smuggled over the border, anything like that. It's simply a chemical composition.
Well, he knew all the stuff even right off the bat when he went to wash the dead body. He goes, I took care of it. I told you, number 5 plastic from,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck number 5 plastic is. You know, the next thing you know, the tub falls through the ceiling.
Yeah, with all the goo in it.
You can see little bits of cheekbone. And
Yeah. Of course, how he got the chicken, man. Ding, 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 boom! Gus Fring walks out, straightening his tie, and he turns his face, and the other half of his face is gone. I'm like, oh, man. I am the one who knocks.
Like those laser pointing things.
Yeah. I spent $200,000 on the two best hitmen this side of the Mississippi. You don't know when. Day, a week, a year. Maybe here, maybe in Prague, maybe wherever.
Trip to France, yeah.
They definitely put the fear in those two idiots.
Got on TV and just slammed him into the dirt.
Well, that was their big mistake. He could have just as easily have killed them. And he had motivation to do that anyway. The only reason they lived because he needed them.
With this money.
That's what he meant by this is when you start to pay it back. And what he meant was, you know, how they fucked him initially when they formed their company.
We will cut a check for the, what was it,
$9.8 million, something like that, 10 million, something like that, some huge amount of money.
so for the abused drug children of drug lords or something, you know?
No. You will cut a check for his son.
Yeah.
11 months and 2 days from now.
And say that it's a charity check for abused drug lord children or something.
Yeah.
Kid wanted nothing to do with him.
Well, the kid had a conscience, yeah. The kid understood what his father was. You know, Walter could have gotten out earlier if he wanted to. He made his pile of money several times. And he could have just walked out in the desert and shot himself dead, and that would have been the end of it. They wouldn't have been able to force him to keep cooking, or he wouldn't have to go killing people or anything else, and his family would have had the money they needed, and that would have been that. But like he told her in the end, he enjoyed it. He liked it.
Yeah.
It made him feel alive.
Don't you say this was for the family. I don't want to hear that.
After a lifetime of being this mild-mannered school teacher, you know, and all this other shit, driving little economy cars and having no money, working 2 jobs, all of a sudden, you know, he's somebody.
Working for shithead at the car wash.
Yeah. Now he owns the car wash. Now he has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it.
Have an A1 day.
Yeah.
Too bad about Hank, though.
Yeah, well, I saw that coming eventually. Made up his mind 20. Oh, you're gonna brave the light. He made up his mind 20 minutes ago. Pow!
Well, I'm getting lucky. I'm gonna keep pressing my luck here.
And look what happened. Ah!
No, it tripped.
It tripped for you. Peaceful enough there. Bambi.
Supposed to be getting more lights on the car.
More lights.
Under the bumper.
Oh.
They're actually good. They're factory lights.
Yeah, they're not working?
The car didn't come with them.
Oh.
They got the little cutouts for them.
Yeah, the driving lights.
No, well, they're
fog lights or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, until next weekend.
Oh, and then don't forget your package from